All right, let's talk about the old financial playbook. You know the one. Go to school, land a good job, grind it out for 40 years, and then maybe you get to retire. But what if that whole playbook is, well, broken? For millions of people, it really feels less like a path and more like a trap. So today, we're going to dig into a totally new set of rules. Rules for actually building wealth and designing a life that you control. So let's just cut right to the chase with a huge question. The whole idea of the 9 to 5, it used to be this promise, right? A promise of stability, a clear path forward. But if you look around at today's economy, is that promise really holding up? Or has it just turned into a hamster wheel, where you're running and running, but never actually getting anywhere?
Okay, look at this number, 67%. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. But here's the part that's really gonna blow your mind. This is not just a low-income problem. Nope, the data shows that nearly half of the people earning over 100 grand a year are stuck in the exact same cycle. So what on earth is going on here?
Well, what's going on is something we call the paycheck to paycheck trap. It's this idea that the old rules of money, they just don't work anymore. And stubbornly sticking to them is one of the biggest reasons people feel so financially stuck. And it doesn't even matter how much money they're making. And this really lays out the problem perfectly. Think about it, a staggering 70% of Americans now believe the whole American dream is a myth. It's not true anymore. Why? Well, for one, our wages just aren't keeping up with inflation. Your salary literally has less buying power every single year. And that stable job we were all promised, that doesn't guarantee stability when mass layoffs can happen in a heartbeat. It's like this perfect storm where even if you get a raise, lifestyle inflation just gobbles it up and you end up right back where you started. Okay, and this chart is so interesting because it pulls back the curtain on what average income really means. So you look at the mean income, that's the traditional average, and it's around $121,000. Sounds pretty good, right? But then you look at the median, which is the number smack dab in the middle, and it's only $83,000. That huge gap tells you everything. It shows how a tiny number of super high earners are pulling the whole average up, and it completely hides what's actually going on for most families. So if the old path is broken, what's the alternative? And look, it's not about just working harder or finding a slightly better paying job. The real shift, the thing that actually changes the entire game, it starts right up here, in your head. It's all about adopting a totally different mindset when it comes to money and work.
Let's break down these two ways of thinking. The employee mindset is what pretty much all of us are taught from day one. You trade your time for money. Simple as that. 1 hour of your life equals a certain amount of cash. But the wealth mindset, it's a whole different ballgame. It's not about selling your time at all. It's about building systems, building assets, things that generate income for you, effectively breaking the link between your earnings and the hours you work. So the big question is, how do you actually do that? The answer is just one word: leverage. Seriously, this is the secret weapon of the wealthy. Think about it like this. A tutor can only help one student in an hour, right? That's trading time for money. But what if that same tutor creates an online course? Now they can sell it to thousands of students all at the same time. That is leverage. It's how you multiply your output without having to multiply your time.
And this quote from Naval Ravikant just absolutely nails it. The goal isn't to somehow find more hours in the day to work. That's impossible. The real goal is to build a machine that works for you, even when you're sleeping. This idea, right here, this is the fundamental difference between just earning a living and building real, lasting wealth.
Okay, so we get the mindset. Now let's get practical. Let's talk about the plan. How do you actually build your escape plan? See, your 9 to 5 doesn't have to be a trap. In fact, you can flip the script and use it as your launch pad, your stable source of funding to build your way out. There are a million ways you could start building a second income stream. This table just shows a few ideas. You could do something service-based, like being a virtual assistant, which can get you earning money pretty fast. Or you could create digital products, which is more of a passive income play, but takes more work up front to market. And then there are creative skills like video editing, super high demand, but it's going to take you a good amount of time to get really good at it. The key here isn't finding the perfect idea, it's just picking one that fits your skills and actually getting started. But here's the thing, whatever you choose, you have to fight that urge to wait until everything is perfect. It's a killer. The most successful people follow a simple model. Launch a basic version of your idea first. They call it a minimum viable product. Just get it out there. Let real customers use it and tell you what they think. And then you evolve it based on that real-world feedback. Because the perfect version of your idea, it doesn't exist in your head. It's built piece by piece through trial and error out in the real world.
All right, you can have the perfect mindset, you could have the perfect plan, but there is one final boss you have to defeat before you win. And that boss lives inside your own head. Honestly, winning this inner game is pretty much the entire difference between just starting and actually succeeding. Anytime you start something new, you have to be willing to climb what's called the cringe mountain. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that awful early phase where you're clumsy, you're learning out in the open, and it feels like every single person is watching and judging you. Your first videos, your first products, your first attempts at selling anything, they're probably not going to be great, and you have to be okay with that.
Look, the truth is, every single person has that little voice in their head, that inner critic, telling them they're going to fail. The wealthy, the successful, they're not immune. They hear it too. They've just learned how to act despite it. They understand that confidence isn't something you get before you take action, it's the reward you get after. So you have to stop caring what people think, especially people you wouldn't even take advice from in the first place. That inner critic, it just wants to keep you safe. But you know what? Wealth is almost never built in the safety zone.
And this is maybe the most powerful reframe of all. Every mistake you make, every launch that flops, every idea that just doesn't pan out, it is not failure. It's data. That's all it is. It's a lesson that just got you one step closer to figuring out what will work. You're just collecting data points, learning from them, and then you keep moving forward.
So, let's wrap this up with one final thought. The financial rules of the game have completely changed. Your old way of thinking, your old mindset, it got you to exactly where you are right now. The real question is, if you're willing to adopt a new one, where will that one take you?